Hello my crafty friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica and today we are diving into some of the most frequently asked questions about OdiCoat. In my previous video, I showed you how I like to apply this product to my fabric. If you haven't watched it yet, you can find the link in the description box below. OdiCoat is an amazing gel that gives your fabric a durable, water-resistant finish. I've been using this product for a while now and I've got some tips and observations I want to share with you. One of the most common questions I get is, how many coats should I apply? I always thought you needed to coat the fabric multiple times to ensure it is waterproof. So I decided to do a little test. I coated small pieces of fabric with 1, 2 and 3 layers of OdiCoat to see if it made any difference. After letting them dry for 24 hours, I poured some water on top to check the results. If you coat your fabric evenly, then 1 layer of OdiCoat is usually sufficient enough to provide good water resistance, which means a single container of OdiCoat will last you longer, saving you both time and money. However, if you want that extra protection, or if your fabric will be exposed to more demanding conditions, you can always apply additional coats. Just make sure each layer dries completely before adding the next one to ensure the best results. What does the finished fabric look and feel like? Once dry, the fabric has a slightly glossy finish and feels a bit stiffer. The more layers you apply, the glossier and stiffer it will become, which adds to its durability and waterproof qualities. The color of the fabric gets darker and richer, giving it a more vibrant look, which I personally really like. There is a faint smell initially, but it disappears after a couple of days. Can I press the fabric after applying OdiCoat? Yes, you can press the fabric after applying OdiCoat. However, before applying the product, make sure your fabric is prepped and crease-free, which I mentioned in my previous video. To find out the best temperature for pressing, I did a little experiment where I pressed different fabric samples with low, medium and high heat settings. I discovered that low to medium heat works best. The fabric pressed at the highest setting actually became more yellow, which is something to avoid. Also, be aware that heat will reduce some of the glossiness of the finish. So if you like that, I would advise do not press your fabric. To protect both your fabric and your iron, always use a Teflon sheet or a parchment paper when pressing your fabric. Keep in mind that while pressing, the smell of OdiCoat might intensify, but it will fade over time. I also did a crease test by crunching up the fabric coated with OdiCoat to see how it would react. The results? The fabric does crease significantly, but most creases disappear after pressing with medium heat iron. I recommend testing your fabric before you start your project, especially if you need to birth your bag or scrunch and turn your fabric a lot. This way, you can avoid any disappointment at the end if you find you cannot press your fabric once your project is completed. Can I wash fabric treated with OdiCoat? According to the product label, it's safe to wash it in a washing machine at 30 degrees Celsius. I tested this myself by washing a fabric sample on a regular cycle and I didn't notice any significant differences apart from the fabric being slightly more creased. Can I apply OdiCoat to a finished product? Yes, but it's definitely easier and more effective to coat the fabric before you start sewing the bag. If you do apply it to a finished bag, make sure to cover any hardware or linings to prevent them from getting coated and carefully work the gel into all seams and edges to ensure even coverage. Is it best to coat the fabric before or after cutting it out? In my experience, it's generally easier to apply an even coat to a larger piece of fabric. Smaller pieces can be more tricky to hold in place and coat evenly without making a mess. Plus, if you coat the fabric before cutting it, you don't have to worry about the edges fraying. I also recommend interfacing the fabric first. Not only because sometimes the OdiCoat can seep through the fabric, making it more difficult to fuse the interfacing afterward, but there is another reason why. To test my hypothesis, I cut out 2 identical pieces of fabric and interfaced one before applying OdiCoat to both. If I'm honest, it was much easier to coat the interfaced fabric because it had more structure. The fabric without any interfacing kept moving and shifting. It also started to fray at the edges, and I had to make sure those frayed edges didn't stick to the fabric. Once the gel dries, it's nearly impossible to remove any fluff from the fabric. When I compared the 2 fabric pieces the next day, I noticed that the non-interfaced fabric was slightly misshapen. It wasn't a nice rectangle anymore. The grain line had slightly shifted. The fabric that I had previously interfaced did not have that problem. So, for the best results, interface and coat your fabric before cutting out your pattern pieces. This approach will give you a cleaner, more professional finish and make the application process much smoother. What fabrics can I waterproof with OdiCoat? You can waterproof a wide range of fabrics with OdiCoat, but I was curious to see how well it would work on textured fabrics, so I decided to put it to the test. I tested OdiCoat on cork, twill cotton, corduroy and quilted cotton to see if it would still deliver the same waterproofing results. Here is what I found. As long as you take your time and work the gel into the grooves and ridges to ensure even coverage, the fabric will be water resistant as intended. However, the texture might become slightly less pronounced, and the fabric will feel a bit stiffer, especially if you apply multiple layers. I was particularly happy with the results on quilted fabric. In the past, I used to apply OdiCoat before quilting my fabric, but that meant the fabric would lose some of the water-resistant properties because water could seep through the stitching holes. By applying the OdiCoat after quilting, I no longer have that issue and the fabric stays water resistant. On the other hand, I wasn't so happy with how the corduroy turned out. The coating made the fabric lose some of its appeal and softness to the touch. In the future, I plan to apply OdiCoat to the wrong side of the fabric to preserve the texture and feel on the outside. So, while OdiCoat works on many types of fabrics, it's important to consider how it might affect the texture and feel, especially on textured fabrics. Always do a small test first to make sure you are happy with the results before committing to your entire project. Does OdiCoat make the fabric more durable? Yes, OdiCoat does add a layer of durability to your fabric. By creating a waterproof barrier, it helps protect the fabric from spills, stains, and general wear and tear, making it less prone to damage from everyday use. To really put this to the test, I conducted a little experiment. I used a nail file to test the durability of the fabric with and without OdiCoat. The fabric without OdiCoat tore very quickly, as you might expect. However, the same fabric coated with OdiCoat showed much more durability. I wasn't able to tear it, even with the nail file. Well, I probably could, but I would have to do it much longer. That said, it's important to note that while the coated fabric was much tougher, the area I filed was no longer waterproof. So, while OdiCoat does significantly enhance durability, any damage to the coated surface can compromise its waterproofing capabilities. I hope you found my observations helpful and that I've answered all your burning questions about OdiCoat. If you've got any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to drop a comment below. I would love to help out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tips, tricks and tutorials. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Stay crafty, friends. Bye!